Do you feel like you've lost your motivation for lifting? This happened to me too, and during my years of training, my motivation fluctuated. Whilst during a bulk, I stopped enjoying training. I was training like 5 to 6 days every single week, 1.5 hours per session, sometimes even longer. And after a while, I was asking myself, why am I even doing this? And I still went to the gym because I was disciplined, but there was nothing more. I didn't actually want to go. One guy, this is actually Joe from the previous video if you saw that, recommended me that I stop training for like a week and I will miss it and I will come back soon. And even though I didn't do this in the end, he was probably right. But my bulk was coming to an end, and when I stopped my bulk and started a diet and started training less, I somehow magically regained my motivation. So what should you do if you don't enjoy training anymore? First of all, keep going. Don't stop training, don't stop going to the gym. Just keep going to the gym with discipline while you're trying to figure out what's up. I'm recommending this because I know that eventually this will get better. And if you stop now, later you will regret your decision. After this, my second advice will probably sound pretty stupid, but stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
As I said, don't quit and don't miss workouts, but if you stop training for a week, probably nothing will happen and you might regain your motivation. You might have just went a little overboard with training recently, and a week-long break will help with that. Also, 1 week of skipping training will not make you lose your muscle. However, if you do decide to take a break, after that you will have to continue training. You can't skip workouts, you have to go to every workout, you have to show up after the 1 week, and you have to do the work. Another option you have is doing a deload. A deload is a very light and easy training phase, usually a week where you reduce the load, the volume, and like literally everything. And so when you're doing a deload, you're still going to the gym, but it takes you much less time. This is because these deload workouts are going to be short, but also something that you can do is group these into like 2 workouts a week, and then you do everything, and on the other days you just stay at home. Figure your goals out. Yes, I'm squatting. Why are you doing this in the first place? What's your goal? If it's size, why are you focusing on strength? If it's bench press strength, why aren't you doing a bench press? Figure out why you're going to the gym and why you're lifting, and always set short-term achievable goals, and then follow them and base your training around them. This way, there's always a little milestone that you're going to reach and that's motivating you. For example, you can set a goal like, I want to bench 225 or I want 15-inch arms. But these have to be relatively short-term, so if you have 14-inch arms, don't set a goal like, I want 17-inch arms. No, first you will have to get 15-inch arms, then you can get 16, and then you can get 70. And measure your progress, log it, and look back at it, because this will motivate you. I would say the more things you measure and log, the better it is. For an example, you can take progress pictures. You can write down what you're doing in the gym. You can write down your weight. You can write down your measurements. For an example, I really regret that I didn't take and write down my measurements before, because it would have been very interesting to look back at it right now. It's very important to stay away from burning out. Most people end up quitting the gym because they start having other priorities and their training just becomes very mentally debilitating and just too mundane, and also too much. Maybe when you started going to the gym you didn't have much else to do, but now you have other priorities. Do you feel like you don't have enough time because of the gym to focus on those other priorities? Then try to take away some time from the gym. I know it sounds bad, but a lot of people don't even need to train as much as they do. You don't need to train 6 times per week. I used to go to the gym 5-6 times a week because I was always following like some push-pull leg split or whatever. And when I was dieting, I always reduced it to 4 because then I was following an upper lower because I was doing less volume and I managed to fit it into an upper lower. And this way, when I was dieting, I always enjoyed going to the gym more. And because I had more rest days, I was always looking forward to going to the gym again. You can make very good progress in the gym with 4 times a week, but if you really want to, you can go 5 times a week. The point is you have to leave room for yourself to miss the gym. If you look at most really big nabbies training, they usually don't train 6 days a week. Yeah, some might do, but a lot of them don't. Also, when was the last time you did something instead of a bench press or a squat? Maybe you don't even squat, right? Yeah, somebody told me you were skipping leg day. Big mistake, bro. But on a more serious note, change up exercises. You can rotate exercises every 4 to 8 weeks. I think generally more people should be closer to 8 than 4. This is to keep things fresh and interesting and to stay away from overuse injuries. Now, don't strap out exercises too often because that would just lead to shit programming. But you should in fact strap out your exercises exercises every couple of weeks. Now, you don't have to make drastic changes. So for example, if I'm doing a push down, what I can do is change from a row push down to the V handles. If you're doing a bench press, you don't have to always do a regular bench press. You can swap it out to an incline. You can swap it out to dumbbells. You can swap it out to a pause bench. You can swap it out to a floor press, Lawson press, photo bench. You can use specialty bars if you have them. With squats, you can do high bar, low bar, SSB, pause squat, tempo squat, whatever the fuck. You can use bands, chains. Just make sure you switch things up so you're not doing the same shit every time. This is something I didn't know for a very long time, and I just learned it recently. And by the way, learning, yeah. Learn new training knowledge and constantly upgrade your training. In my language, we have a saying which is like, the good priest learns until death or something like that. I don't know if this exists in English, but yeah, the point is you should constantly learn new things. Right now, I'm learning a ton of new stuff and I'm always extremely motivated to go to the gym. But don't learn from BS sources and random T-Nation articles. Watch the advanced natties with elite physiques in the community. Like there's Alex Leonidas, there's Bald Omni-Man, Natural Hypertrophy, Jeffrey Verdi Schofield, Basement Bodybuilding, Fast Lifts. There's just so many people that you can watch that you can learn a lot from. And if you say like, oh, but I don't have time to watch them, just watch them while doing cardio. Oh, yeah, right, you're not doing cardio, right? Start doing cardio. I've made a video about that, you can click here to watch it. Also, train hard as fuck. Don't do crazy high volume training where you half-ass all of your sets. This is something I used to do and I realized that I'm actually not that good at estimating RPE. I was doing a bunch of sets to RPE 7, 8, 9, 10, but they were actually RPE 2, 3, 4, and you probably can't feel RPE that well either. So just push for another rep if it's safe. Train hard. Train very close to failure. You can even train to failure on most isolation movements. This also allows for lower volume. And you know, I don't give a shit if the research says that you need 10 to 20 sets per week per muscle group. I don't care. If your 10 to 20 sets are half-assed, doing 5 to 10 sets that are not half-assed and are very, very intense are ultimately going to be better. These were the most important things in my opinion, but there's a couple of other tips. Like, for example, focus on your training. Don't scroll Instagram. Don't look at your phone all the time. Don't keep switching the music. Get an actual notebook, bring it to the gym and log your training there. Make a gym playlist that you can listen to infinitely without switching tracks. You need to get into the zone. Some people also like having a training partner. I've never really had one and I don't need one. Some people like the added accountability because when one person doesn't want to go to the gym, the other person pulls them up and tells them to get the fuck off the couch and go to the gym with them. The problem though is some people will have this backwards, and if their training partner isn't going to the gym, they're not going either. You can also change gyms sometimes if you want a bit more excitement. Now, don't do this very often, but I think sometimes changing gyms can change a lot. And the last thing that is pretty interesting is just music. For a while, I actually had decreased lifting motivation because the music I was listening to, I didn't like it as much as the music I listened to before. So yeah, listen to music you really like for lifting. On behalf of cutting, besides making you enjoy your training more, there's a couple of other reasons why you should probably cut. So I made a video about that. If you haven't seen it yet, click here to watch it.